Hello, everyone. So, our business title is Influencer Content Planner, presenting the transition walkthrough of 1NF to 4NF and the flow of the business rules and the ARD. Business overview. Influencers track content plans across platforms with the sponsor involvement, scheduled posts, hashtags, and media type. Business rules. Each influencer posts on multiple platforms. Each post can include multiple hashtags. A sponsor may be tagged in one or more posts. Posts are scheduled with platform specific formats. Avoid redundant sponsor and platform data. Transition walkthrough of 1NF to 4NF. A normal is stable to 1NF. Problem. Storing multiple hashtags in a single column. To fix this, splitting them into rows in the same table. So the result would be platforms were stored together with influencers. Their details would repeat across every post. 1NF to 2NF. Problem. Partial dependencies like influencer ID to name, platform, post ID to post title, campaign, engagement. To fix this, split into separate tables, influencer and post table. So the result would be every non-key attribute depends on the whole primary key. 2NF to 3NF. Problem. Transitive dependencies, campaign sponsor, likes, comments, shares, engagement rate. To fix this, separate the campaign table with campaign ID plus its sponsor. Store engagement rate in a derived table or calculate dynamically instead of keeping redundant data. So the result would be non-key attribute depend only on the primary key, not not on other non-key attributes. 3NF to BCNF. Problem. Possible cases where determinants weren't candidate keys. To fix this, ensure that every determinant is a candidate key. So the result would be stronger elimination of anomalies. And last, BCNF to 4NF. Problem. Multi-valued dependencies like a post or example, a post can have multiple hashtags and multiple platform. To fix this, introduce hashtag table and platform table. The result would be eliminated multi-valued dependencies achieving 4NF. So first, we should know what our business rules consist of. So the business rule number 1, each influencer posts on multiple platforms. Problem before 4NF, if platforms were stored together with influencers, their details would repeat across every post, creating redundancy. 4NF solution, influencer and platform are kept in separate tables, and post links them. This avoids redundant influencer platform combinations. So, in our database, influencers can create multiple posts, and each post is tied to a single platform. If platforms were stored together with influencers, their details would be repeated in every row. By separating influencer and platform into their own tables and linking them through the post table, 4NF avoids redundancy and ensures influencer platform combinations are stored properly. Business rule number 2. Each post can include multiple hashtags. Problem before 4NF. Storing multiple hashtags in a single column violates 1NF, and splitting them into rows in the same table creates multi-valued dependencies. 4NF solution. Hashtags are stored in their own table, and many-to-many relationship is resolved with a junction table or post hashtag. This removes the multi-valued dependency. Originally, hashtags were stored in the same row as the post, sometimes with more than one hashtag in one cell. This violates 1NF and also creates multi-valued dependencies. In 4NF, hashtags are stored in their own table, and a junction table called post hashtags manages the many-to-many relationship between posts and hashtags. This way, each post can have multiple hashtags without causing redundancy. Business rule number 3. A sponsor may be tagged in one or more posts. Problem before 4NF. If a sponsor data was stored inside the post table, it would be separated across many rows. 4NF solution. Sponsors are tied to campaigns in the campaign table. Since the sponsor runs one campaign, the relationship post to campaign covers the business rule. A campaign can be linked to multiple posts, so sponsor information is not repeated in the post table. In our design, sponsors are tied directly to campaigns since every campaign is run by one sponsor. Without 4NF, sponsor details would have to be repeated for every post. By keeping sponsors inside the campaign table and linking campaigns to posts, we ensured that a sponsor through their campaign can be connected to many posts, while sponsor data is stored only once. Business rule number 4. Posts are scheduled with platform-specific formats. Problem before 4NF. Without separation, platform data would repeat across every post, and multi-valued dependencies could occur if one post could belong to multiple platforms. 4NF solution. Platforms are stored separately and each post links to exactly one platform. This ensures posts follow platform-specific formats without redundancy. Each post belongs to exactly one platform, but influencers may post on multiple platforms. If platform data were stored directly in the post table, it would repeat unnecessarily. In 4NF, platforms are separated into their own table, and each post is linked to one platform. This ensures platform-specific details are preserved without redundancy. And lastly, business rule number 5. Avoid redundant sponsor and platform data. Problem before 4NF. Repetition of sponsor and platform details across posts leads to update, insertion, and deletion anomalies. 4NF solution. Both campaign with sponsor and platform are independent tables. The relationships with posts are handled directly, so data about the sponsors and platforms is stored only once and never duplicated. So this was one of the biggest issues in the unnormalized table. If in 4NF, both campaigns with their sponsors and platforms are stored as independent entities. The relationships with posts are managed through foreign keys and junctions. So sponsor and platform data are never duplicated across multiple posts. This prevents updates, insertion, and deletion anomalies. Based on these 4NF normalized tables are influencer table which contains influencer ID and name. Platform table contains platform ID and platform. Campaign table contains campaign ID, campaign, and sponsor. Post table contains post ID, post title, post date, time, and theme. Engagement table contains post ID, likes, comments, shares, and engagement rate. And lastly, post hashtag table, which contains post ID and hashtags. Those tables normalized in 4NF are what makes up the ERD. First, let's take a look between the relationship between influencer table and post table. As seen on the ARD, it has one-to-many relationship. It's apparent on the first business rule. Each influencer can post as many as they please on different platforms. Second, on the hashtag table and the post table, as seen on the ERD, it is seen again to have one-to-many relationships. It makes sense with the business rules. One post can have multiple hashtags. Third, the campaign table and the post table. Like the first two, it also has one-to-many relationship. It satisfies the first business rule. One campaign, which is established by a sponsor, can be involved with many influencers and posts to gain more exposure regarding the campaign. Fourth, the post table with platform table has one-to-one relationship because each post is published in a specific platform. The last business rule, we talked about it already, it is to remove dependencies. Lastly, the remaining one, engagement rate table, is a separated table because when it was part of the post table, it committed a transitive dependency. It has now a one-to-one relationship with the former table it belonged to because those engagement rates detail the mean of each one post. In conclusion, all of these are like the normalized table, but without the dependencies, broken down to understand how the business rules work. It's like baking but reversed. So that would be all. Thanks for listening.